Well, the Dangote Refinery has accused multinationals of hiking crude prices to sabotage the refinery's local crude supply. The management of the refinery accused the international oil companies operating in Nigeria of planning to ensure the failure of the $19 billion refining facility. The Vice President, Oil and Gas at Dangote Industries Limited says the multinationals are deliberately frustrating the refinery's efforts to buy local crude by jacking up premium price above the market price. He also says the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority is still granting import licenses to marketers to import dirty refined products into the country. Let's bring in a petroleum engineer and senior lecturer at Bayes University, Dr. Abubakar Alkali. Good to see you and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
This won't go away yet because it's a conversation that many Nigerians have been asking what exactly this is about. Now let's first start talking about how it operates, because we understand that there are IOCs. These players are already there, and for Dangote Refinery, they say they are unable to get crude. But the business, as you understand it, let's start the conversation from the eye of Dr. Alkali. What do you see in the market playing out now? He thinks, or Dangote Refinery as an entity thinks, there are sabotages, but the IOCs are saying, well, wait a minute, we have business concerns to meet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is, to be expected in a way, although based on the details you have given, the IOCs are also denying, what Dangote is saying, which is also expected. But I think also this is within the context of competition in the industry. The fact of the matter is that, there are multifaceted problems in the industry. And these IOCs are actually trying to, break even and make profit as well. Okay, and you see the coming of Dangote is actually, bringing in some kind of distortions on their profitability and their operations as well. Dangote is 650,000 barrels per day refining capacity. It can refine 650 barrels of crude oil. And so the point is looking at, even within the context of what Nigeria produces now, the production is between 1 million and 1.5 sometimes. Like last month. Last month was actually 1.25 million barrels production. So although, to be honest, domestic consumption, the use of your crude domestically for in-house domestic consumption is actually excluded from OPEC requirements, OPEC quota. But the problem is that, you see, the as I said, multifaceted problems, in the Niger Delta region. The major problem is the violence in the Niger Delta region, which has actually brought in distortions and raised the uncertainties on the part of the IOCs. Okay, if they allow the NNPC supply, this 650, to Dangote, how is that going to play out on their own profitability? And already there is actually an existing arrangement between Dangote and the NNPC, okay, to supply 300,000 barrels. Okay, yes, there is an existing, but NNPC is not even able, to meet up with that. You see, we cannot really blame anybody here. Dangote is a business.
I'd like to hear that again. We cannot really blame anybody here.
Absolutely. We cannot blame specifically, more specifically, we cannot blame Dangote. Okay? We cannot also blame the IOCs. I think the onus lies on the regulators. Okay, the Nigerian government, the NNPC. Sorry to say, the NNPC is actually very weak, okay, to really give that safety net to Dangote. They regulated the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, has actually a duty, an obligation to see as much as it can how it can actually secure Dangote, okay? How it can, ensure that, okay, Dangote is able to stamp, his foot in the industry against these odds, coming in from the IOCs. As I said, the uncertainty on the part of the IOCs is that, okay, they are not sure of their own, production. They need to produce and export this commodity, okay, and make profit. And if this production capacity, if Dangote should eat into this production capacity, okay, of the IOCs, okay, then what happens to their operations? If NNPC should say, okay.
So in other words, you say they already have some markets to feed already, which is binding on them to get that crude to. So getting to reverse and get this to Dangote will mean that you're not actually keeping your own side of the deal with those.
Absolutely.
So in this case, since NNPC is also has a stake in Dangote Refinery, how does NNPC come into this in terms of actually also helping to see that where you have a stake isn't starved of crude?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You see, there is, very clear weakness on the part of the NNPC, to be honest with you. You see, this JVs, the PSCs, the production sharing contracts and the joint ventures, you look at it, is NNPC actually playing its part? You see, there is counterpart funding within the PSC. Consistently, NNPC has not been able to meet up its counterpart funding. So at the end of the day, you even find out that the joint venture, usually the NNPC takes the majority share, okay, and the IOCs take the minority share. But based on the fact that the NNPC is not able to, sustain or be able to meet up to its obligations within the agreement, the arrangement, the JV even turns to the IOCs taking the majority shares and the NNPC taking the. So NNPC is not really, in control, okay, of this these operations, the upstream operations. It's not really in control, and that is why it's not able, okay, to give give Dangote that guarantee Dangote that supply, and be able to, shield him.
Yeah, Dr. Alkali, let's see if we can close on this. This is your field, and for many years Nigerians have cried asking for its own refinery, and that never came. And now we have a privately owned refinery, which is also Nigeria's concern, Nigeria's business. For many, they've said that they talked about some saboteurs, people who have held Nigeria down from getting its refineries working. In your research, in your analysis, in your conversations with the experts within the industry, do you think these same sharks or business hawks who prevented us from getting our refineries working are all out with this deal of ensuring that Dangote Refinery is starved of crude?
Well, yes, they will not stop. They will not stop. This is their means of livelihood, if you like. This is their feed. However, okay, do you really, who do you really blame here? Because the fact is, the government has an obligation, okay, to regulate the industry. As we speak, how many oil thieves have been convicted? Let's even look at the fuel subsidy issue over the years. How many fuel subsidy, thieves, have been convicted? Okay, this is something that spans over several decades. How many people have been convicted of oil theft? This is the major problem with this, with Nigeria's oil production. oil theft in the Niger Delta region, general state of insecurity, Nigeria can potentially do even 5 million barrels per day. Yes, the reserves are there now, okay? But look at what's going on, and we're actually dropping down to even less than 1 million. The last one, as I said, was 1.25 million. So the government has a duty, it has an obligation to check the scourge of oil theft in the Niger Delta region.
Well, Dr. Abubakar Alkali, delight speaking with you, and I really do hope that we keep this conversation going. But again, I think points made, the government has a duty to ensure that while the security situation in the Niger Delta and the regulators are up and running with their main job.